Hi, everybody. Has your caregiving relationship become one-sided? I want to share some confessions from caregivers about stress, about caregiving relationships, and also for solutions. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, a lot of hope, help, and support for caregivers. So let's talk about how caregivers feel when relationships feel one-sided. And I'm going to share some pretty blunt feelings here that caregivers share with me in my groups, in my online courses, in my discussions with employees at companies. Number one, I have no life of my own as a caregiver. Number two, I don't know how much longer I can do this. Yesterday was a really bad day, and today it's not starting out much better. Number three, my parent, my spouse, my loved ones have no idea of all the sacrifices that I am making to care for them, and yet I do nothing for myself. Number four, my parents, my spouse, they're never happy with anything I do. There's no appreciation. All they do is complain, and believe it or not, they make me feel more guilty for everything that I'm doing, as if I'm not already doing enough. Next. I wish my parent or spouse would die. It would make things so much easier. They seem to be so miserable and so unhappy, and honestly, I'm tired of being a caregiver. I want to run away. Many caregivers find me late at night, sometimes 10 o'clock, midnight, 2 in the morning, through these videos on the internet, because they are thinking of committing suicide. They're saying, do I really have to wake up tomorrow? I don't think I can do this anymore. I feel lonely, I feel isolated, I feel miserable, and I don't know where to turn. I can't get any hope back into my life. So what do we do about this when caregiving relationships become one-sided and we feel like no one understands and there's nowhere to turn and there is no help out there? We have to look inside and find someone who can inspire us, someone who can help us and direct us. The number one recommendation for caregivers is to start to set boundaries so that your loved one doesn't totally depend on you. Now, if you're in this miserable situation, you probably haven't set boundaries and your loved one probably does depend on you, which is why you're thinking, oh, I want to run away. I'm thinking of committing suicide. This is horrible. I don't know if I can do this anymore. This is going to take you some effort and some work, and it's not going to happen overnight. I've had caregivers say, Pamela, I have been following you for a year, 6 months, and I still don't feel like I'm any further along than I am. Well, then do something more. Take one of my online caregiving courses. Fast forward your learning and commit to doing something different every day to change your situation. Because if you don't, a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, you're going to be in the same place saying, I am so miserable. Also, the next thing to do is begin encouraging your parent or your spouse to do as much for themselves as possible. Again, if you're in this position, it's probably because you wanted to be helpful and you started to do too much. You took away things that they can do, and now they have to relearn how to do more things for themselves, how not to depend on you for everything, how not to call you 10 times a day at work, how not to think that you are going to make their dinner every night when they still can probably put a sandwich together or something else. Also, big picture, create a list of everything that you're doing, everything that annoys you, everything that someone else might be able to do, and figure out how to make that happen. Start asking your brothers and sisters, other family members. Believe it or not, there are volunteers out there who can help. Talk to people at your church, hire caregivers. Talk to your parents about the fact that, it may be time for you to move into a community. I've done this for years. It's time for me to get my life back. I have done everything. I've allowed you to stay in this house with my care for 10 years longer than you would have been able to do. Give yourself some credit for everything that you have done. Caregivers, you don't even appreciate yourself. You've got to start appreciating yourself if you want others to appreciate you. And you have to start respecting yourself and your needs if you want other people to respect you. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, videos, my book, The Caregiving Trap, my online course called How to Help Elderly Parents Stay at Home, which can also teach you how to take care of yourself and how to find alternate care situations for your parents. My weekly podcast, The Caring Generation, my blog, articles. There is so much hope, help, and support. But it can't help you unless you actually press the button, go to my website, and start taking action every single day. Have a fabulous day today, caregivers. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you do, and I can help. I will see you again soon in another video.